More about who was the Queen, really. Hi there, crypto fans. Dick Allgire here in Honolulu, Hawaii. Crypto's having a little bit of a nudge, but we're not ready to talk about them yet. I find this whole subject of the Queen to be so fascinating. I'm wearing black again because that is a traditional thing to wear after a monarch dies. Not a statement of whether or not I support the monarchy, just being respectful, because I have a sort of a sarcastic way about me, and some of that sarcasm might slip out. So I'm not doing this in a mean or a flippant way. I'm watching the coverage of the death of the Queen, and the American networks have sent their anchors over, and they're set up right outside of Buckingham Palace. So they've got this elephant in the room they need to deal with, and they're going round-the-clock coverage. They have to talk for a long time, and they have to interview people, and they have to be respectful. But there's this elephant in the room, and some of them actually bring it up in their interviews. You can see them ask, they'll bring on someone like Piers Morgan or other Brits, other British citizens, and the anchor will ask them, well, we know your queen was beloved, but exactly why do you still have a queen? Or what were the duties of the queen other than to meet people in the palace or go to her castle? Or they'll ask, what was the actual power behind the throne? We don't understand this. And the British subjects will hem and haw and avoid the elephant in the room, and I heard Piers Morgan say, well, imagine if you had a president that you really loved, and he was the president for your whole life, and he was a steadying influence, and then he died. You'd be very sad. The Queen was like our grandmother of our country. She was beloved. And no one ever asks a follow-up question, yes, but what was the actual power that she had? And it's interesting, the symbology to me, because I look at these interviews and they are right there underneath the lighted golden statue of the Greek goddess Athena, the goddess of war. Oh, no, that's Victoria. That is a monument to Victoria, they would tell you. No, that is Athena, the war goddess. The same Athena, the war goddess, that the United States has in New York Harbor. Oh, wait, we call that the Statue of Liberty, but it is Athena, the war goddess. So why is it important that they have the statue of a Greek war goddess outside the palace? Because their power comes directly from a lineage that goes back to ancient Greece. There are ancient contracts, there are ancient covenants, there are families with royal titles, and this is all still in effect behind the scenes. We have America, where they gave us the illusion of independence. They said, well, this could get messy, let's allow the colonies to break away, and we will give them a constitution, and we will give them a democratic republic, and we'll let them pretend to manage their own affairs. They can elect congressmen, and they can elect senators, and then they can have a president, and it will all be, for show, just a really good illusion, when in fact, oh, by the way, when you create your capital, Washington, be sure to lay it out with Freemason symbology and have the Freemasons organize and run the government, just so things are kept a little bit under control. That's actually true. Okay, so they're interviewing the royal family experts, and one of them remarked, well, you know, the Queen was actually quite intelligent. I believe she was well read. I think she must have read a number of books, because she could speak intelligently on matters of history and philosophy. And I'm thinking, oh, no kidding. The truth of the matter is that members of the royal family, like the Queen, she gets a special education. She doesn't just read some books. From a very young age, I would call it the wisdom school. Members of royalty, members of special orders, people that are going to have prominent roles in the administration of the planet Earth, are given special education where they're taught the real history, they're taught the real science, the real meaning behind the contracts, covenants, and agreements that date back to the Code of Hammurabi. And they're told of their responsibilities, and they're taught how to act. A lot of the commentators are saying, well, the Queen, she never gave interviews. She gave one interview with the BBC, but they weren't allowed to ask questions. It was more of a conversation. And Queen Elizabeth was famous for saying, never complain, never explain. That's because a monarch does not complain and never has to explain their actions. And they don't, when they utter something, it's very important. That's reserved for very special occasions. They don't just give interviews. They're talking about the fact that she doesn't get involved in politics. Will King Charles III, will he be a climate activist? There's talk of that he's going to abandon politics. The monarchy is above politics. The monarchy doesn't get involved in messy little details of politics. They're above that. They have a job to do. Okay, I mentioned in yesterday's report the Commonwealth. This goes to, what does the royal family own? What did the Queen own? There's a term called alloidial title. Let's look at the definition. Alloidial title is ownership of real property that is independent of any superior landlord. Notice they say property, not just land, but property. And I'm not going to get into what constitutes property. But if you hold alloidial title, well, you can have your picture on the banknotes of all the places where you have alloidial title. The basic thing we're seeing here, the most important thing, is that we have been under a system of administration, a system of financial administration that dates back a long time. It's been in effect for centuries. And we have a level of, okay, there's one more point I wanted to make. Is the president the most powerful man in the world? No, not at all. Certainly not the current president. The president answers to the Queen because she has a alloidial title. The president is the trustee of a trust that is held by the Queen, and ownership is above her. We have a system that involves, be careful here, it involves the royal family, it involves the Vatican, it involves the Bank for International Settlements. And I will not say too much other than to tell you that with cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, we are moving to a new system of administration where you don't need royal families anymore. You don't need nation states. You won't be settling things through the Bank of International Settlements using paperwork that has been used in the past. Some key terms I don't want to trigger. It's going to a distributed ledger, blockchain, Internet of Things. And so the old systems are going to fall away. When they say that the passing of Queen Elizabeth is the end of, it's like 1 foot in the old world and 1 foot in the new world, that's literally true. We're going into a new world where administration is going to be done through the Internet of Things on blockchain with a financial system that is all digital, and you'll see some announcements coming out. Watch for this. This will be a marker for you, those of you that are really listening to me. When you see that a passport is no longer required, when your digital ID will be the method you will use for business transactions under international law and for travel and for accessing any type of access management. When your digital ID is in use and you no longer need a passport, remember that I told you that, and you can think back and go, Dick Allgire was right. He told me about that some time ago. Anyway, the Queen is gone. Long live the King, King Charles III. He'll be on the throne for a little while until the system is switched over, and it's coming soon. If information like this is of interest to you and you would like to hear more, we can certainly go into more detail on our private site, which is patreon.com/cryptoviewing. We talk about such subjects with a little more latitude in a private setting. patreon.com/cryptoviewing.